Hi, I'm Jake Deffinbaugh, and welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, a podcast where me and my friends talk about nostalgic moments and pop culture from our childhoods. We interview people such as actors, producers, composers, puppeteers, and more. We'll be sharing our favorite memories, talk about behind-the-scenes moments, and so much more. I'm your host, Jake Deffinbaugh, and welcome to this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. I'm your host, Jake, and co-hosts we have for today, as always, Wyatt McCullough and Chris Bixby. How are you guys?
Amazing.
Awesome. Really good.
I know that for sure, Chris, to be honest.
So, yeah, the guest we have today is one of my greatest friends. Known him since, I've known him since 2015, but we became like good friends in 2016. And he also has a podcast, which has been running since 2010. And here he is. It's Bob Runkel, also known as DJ Bob. How are you doing, Bob?
Hey, how are you?
Is this a reunion for you, Chris?
Yes, yes it is.
my God.
It's been a long time. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and for those who are watching or listening, I used to be a part of the DJ Bob show for 2 years, and that
We
was
had
lots
fun,
of fun.
didn't we?
Yeah, we had lots
Yeah.
of fun.
Yes, definitely. And so, the first question to start off is that, how you guys, have a little inspired ways to, starring back in 2010, first starring your own podcast, the DJ Bob Show? How was all that about?
Well, what's interesting is, in order for me to tell the story, I got to go back further.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I was obsessed with like pop culture. Like you would find me watching Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, but you'd also find me watching MTV too, because I had older sisters and they exposed me to the world of pop culture. So it was always sort of in my DNA. But for the podcast, it's sort of funny because I started out doing live streams. The DJ Bob show started out as a totally different show called Radio B.O.B. And it was a live stream on sort of like a YouTube live sort of site where like people could watch and sort of view. But then I realized, I'm not getting any listeners from that. So then I moved on to internet radio. And then I got fired from a radio station. Which for, get this guys, eating Wendy's on the air.
What the?
Listen radio, the best dream in the world. That was Joey Dushmal and Leon from the movie Elf. That was Baby It's Cold Outside. That's such a great movie. I love it during Christmas. But anyway, I could watch it for days and days and never get tired of it. It's so good. Chicken nuggets rule. Wendy's rules. Okay. I'm fried.
But so I got fired from that, and I said, well, but I still love doing this. So I started my own website called djbobshow.weebly.com. Shout out to Weebly, we love you.
Weebly's off.
Same people who, our website is on Weebly as well.
And then that sort of that was a live stream too. That was a 4-hour live stream for 5 days a week. I don't know how I did that.
Wow.
And then, I contacted that radio station again, saying that I've grown, that I've learned, and that I've changed. and they gave me another shot, and it didn't work out again. So they said to me, you can't commit to a weekly schedule. Why don't you start your own podcast so you could do it on your own time, whenever you want?
Mm-hmm.
And so I started doing that. And I don't know if you know this, Chris, but there was a time where the DJ Bob show, was a punk rock show.
Oh wow.
And
I did not know that.
We were interviewing punk rock bands and stuff. And then sometime around 2012, I interviewed Noel McNeil.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yes, it was
Nice.
amazing.
Yes, definitely.
And I interviewed him on a version of the show that wasn't the podcast. But once he heard about the podcast, he came up with the tagline, "Archiving Your Childhood," which was our tagline for, 3 years? You were there during that era, Chris.
Yeah.
But that's sort of how it got started. I know it's a long story but
It's fine.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, you hear
That's
Noah
awesome.
on the business is what they say, and then you go and do your own thing.
Yeah. Noel's amazing. Who I've also interviewed twice on the DJ Bob show.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
yeah, that was fun. Gotta get him back. My favorite one was when he interviewed me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he basically said, he was literally so, how did you get started? And I'm like, Barry's asking me how I got started. This is weird.
I bet.
So how does it feel that, your show's, gone on still to this day after 12 or almost 12 years?
It's weird because a lot of people my age usually start something like this and it only lasts a couple months up until maybe 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But I've always stuck at it.
Yeah, which is good,
Yeah, it's good.
I can definitely, we can definitely see it. And I'm sure anybody listening to your podcast can see that, it's something that you're definitely passionate about. And, it's great that you're still doing it after all this time.
If you're passionate about it, keep going with it.
I'm proud of it because I just recently started talking about my disability more.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And many people know, but Chris knows, I never used to talk about it.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm kind of curious. I got two-part this. What's your favorite guest on the show? Plus, who's your biggest guest you've had?
Okay.
We could go on and on about this.
That's hard.
Well, this will be a part 2.
That's so hard.
Bye, Jakey.
They're like children. Oh my god. Okay, I gotta pick my child. No.
If you don't want to answer that, who's the biggest one you've had?
I got the biggest one I've had.
Yeah.
Was Josh Dela Cruz was a big one. We've had him
wow.
We've had him on twice.
Yes.
And
Josh Dela Cruz is amazing.
Bob West was a big one.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Bob West, for people who don't know, is your Joseph Barney.
Yeah, because that was around the time Bob West was just starting to get out there again.
I think that was his first interview. That he
wow.
did.
Very well might have been, yeah.
Right after Purple Rogue. Or no, Purple Tails at the time.
Yeah.
Which Purple Tails was the podcast Carrie and Nancy J did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Started it all.
No, but Bob's amazing. He's one of those guys that can still do the voice, and if the reboot was to happen, I think it still is.
And
we know Dean went.
That interview that we did was the first time that he did the Backyard Gang voice.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
I'd probably pass out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And my face was just like
I can imagine, because I mean the backyard gang voice is
Iconic.
And here's something interesting.
interesting.
Here's something really kind of shocking.
What's that?
I didn't want to do that interview
Wow.
Oh, really?
Wait, why?
because I know that your show
Mhm.
is children centric, but sometimes because you kind of get stuck in a box of being a kid's show,
Yeah.
hmm
and I wanted to do more than that,
Mhm.
and cut to me doing an interview with Barney, the most loved and hated children's character in the world.
Yeah.
He probably hears that every day. They were Barney bashing back in the day.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was
man.
just like, but then it's like, it's not about the person, it's the interview you give them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if they love their time with you, then it matters.
I
Yeah.
agreed. And if you're
I
having
mean,
fun with the
look.
audience,
Look at Bob West. Like he's on Cameo now. He
or
does conventions.
So another
Get into
question
this.
about your show, of course, is that what do you like most about your show,
Yeah.
really?
I like that I'm me. Like, I'm not putting on a front,
Mhm.
or I'm not being a host.
Like
I'm
you're just being
Yeah.
yourself.
I'm
Yeah.
just talking to you. And in earlier iterations of the show, it used to be like this. How do I put this? It used to be very talk show like,
Yeah.
hmm
I
where
understand what you
Right.
mean.
it was a group of people talking to the guest with me. And but now it's me and the person one on one. There's a couple times where I have guest hosts, but generally I don't bring on people that I don't believe in, you know? So
Mhm. He don't know.
you have to really be careful with what you do, because if you have a brand, you have to stick to it.
hmm
Yeah.
You can't just, if someone is bugging you on Instagram saying, I want to talk to this person with you, you can't just be like, okay, random person, just because you're bugging me, here you go.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be not professional, but you have to be like, you have to be stern. You have to be real with them.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly. That's awesome. And especially talking their time will come in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, what do you like? So I know, over the years you've done a lot of reunion episodes. What do
Yeah.
you like most about doing those?
Yeah, and what's your favorite as well?
Oh, well, that's easy. What I love about doing those is getting the people back together for the first time in 20, 30, however many years. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
the PB&J Outer reunion.
Oh
we
my
did.
gosh.
I love doing that because we started planning that. I don't think I've ever told this story, so you're getting an exclusive.
There you
I
go.
don't think I've even told you, Chris, and I talked to you all
Yeah,
the time.
probably not.
So it was at the start of the pandemic, and I said, you know, people are really struggling right now, but what makes them happy? What makes them comfortable? Well, comfort TV. What brings them comfort? And I said, well, PB&J is this nice, wholesome show
Yeah.
about family, about working together through struggle. This would be a great show for a reunion during this time.
hmm
And then it kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. And I contacted Jim Jenkins, the creator,
Yes.
Wow.
and I said, hey, can we just do it? Like, because like we've been toying around with this idea forever. Like, can we just put it in motion and sort of just make it work?
Mhm.
And he said, I'm in. You do the rest. So I did. I contacted everybody.
Mhm.
The biggest person we contacted was TikTok's very own Adam Rose, who played Peanut on the show.
Oh wow.
Yep.
So funny when people find out that I know Adam. They're like, from TikTok? I'm like, yeah, and from PB&J. But I love doing that because you don't know how many thank yous I got after doing that.
Mhm.
And everybody just loved each other's company. And it was one of those times where I could just shut up and let them talk. Because this was for them.
Mhm.
I was just the person setting it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't overstepping. And then Chris and I did one years prior.
The bear reunion.
We did the bear reunion.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was lots
It's
of
your
fun.
anniversary, bear.
That was fun, but that was if I was to do it now,
Yeah.
it would be more like the PB&J one. Cause the bear one was so chaotic, like getting people's tracks split and all that. But it
Yeah, that was something.
Yeah,
That was
so
something else.
Yeah.
but you know, you learn and you grow, and within these 12 years, almost 12
Especially,
years,
yes.
I've definitely learned how
Yeah.
to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially where you learn from the first episode, the first ever episode of the show.
Oh my God,
And-
I found the first episode the other day.
Oh wow.
That's interesting. Well, I know every single episode that my show as well, not just your show, but well, of course everyone's really podcast really, that you really see of what an improved or what the first episode was
Yeah.
to the,
Like
to the
ours.
21st episode, especially where you basically mentioned about what people like talk over or something like that, have their moment to talk and never. We
Yeah.
have those moments like that in the early episodes, but the more episodes, the more that we learn and be more of what as a better co-host and host that we
Yeah.
do. So
Exactly.
I kind of get
JP.
the point really what you were saying.
Now, I'm gonna turn the tables. I have a question for you.
All right.
All right.
Of course.
You're the first person to ever ask us a question when I'm here. That they were.
Yeah.
I forget who it was, but Count
So
said it.
I've noticed I'm a fan of the show,
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
and
Thank you very much.
long time listener, first time caller. But did I inspire you guys? Because I see a lot of similarities.
That's the question.
Yes. Yeah, you definitely inspired
Definitely.
our podcast quite a bit.
And for me, Purple Roads and Purple Tails kind of like inspiring me in a way too.
Yeah, because I know, and it only lasts one episode, but Jake had a Happy Dynamite's podcast, and it only lasts one episode. And then we get this one.
So I have a story here. So before Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show was become a thing, there's like it's basically like Purple Tails in a way. 'Cause, that podcast is kind of like Barney related podcast.
Yeah.
But for that podcast, which is called Happy Dynamite's podcast, where it was only me and Matthew who's one of the co-hosts.
Yeah,
of the
only one
show.
episode.
And yeah, we did only one.
I
episode,
remember that.
which is Taya Frederickson.
There you go.
And then after that, we just really took a hiatus and then just not do it anymore because lack of motivation when he's making guests just only for just one show. And I feel that's the reason why Purple Roads was a thing in the first place, to be honest.
That's the thing too. The problem is, I'm gonna be real with you guys here. The problem about podcasting is so many people do podcasts, and
Right.
you can't tell.
Yeah.
You can't tell who's doing it because they want to do it, or because they think it's a step to something else.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, how many celebrities do you know that have a podcast? A lot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well,
And they've got advertisements, they've got sponsorships, but the people that really love it don't have any of that. They just have great content.
mm-hmm.
And they just do it to do it, or
Yeah, like
well, not to do it, but they just do
They
it
just do it
because
to
they
put entertainment
love
out there.
doing it. And there's definitely other podcasts out there that are like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
You
been on, like, being on Purple Rogues was such a thrill because
Yeah.
What was your experience for being on Purple Roads anyway? Because you're a guest on it,
Okay.
of course.
I almost didn't do it.
Wait, why?
Alright. So, for reasons I won't get into, I don't feel comfortable going on video.
All right.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
you know that that's a video podcast.
Hmm.
Right.
So, Carrie's like, okay, you're doing it on this day at this time. That morning, I had a full-blown panic attack.
Wow.
Wow.
I did not want to do it. I was crying, upset, just did not want to because that's not what I do. You know, like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, your podcast is real show really at the same time. Podcast is showing the same thing. What I'm saying that your show is really like audio only, but for my show, it's of course video or audio only. It's really optional what we do.
But it's also like, but I knew that if I didn't do it, I would regret it later.
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of people encouraging me to do it, and
Right.
I'm glad that I got to do it. And Carrie and Matt Bailey
Yeah.
We're
He was
like-
in the episode also.
were like the most kindest people I've ever met, and they made it easier for me. Same thing with Stephen Anthony
amazing.
Lawrence and Spencer Breslin and Max when I was on their podcast. That was super fun too. So you have to just trust that the person has the best interest at heart. But if you really don't want to do something, it's alright to say, I don't feel comfortable with this. Like, I'm sure that if I really didn't want to, if I didn't come to that conclusion and just do it, then they would have found out another way for me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the best experience I've had because
That's awesome.
Nice.
I got to talk just like I'm talking to you now
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
about what I love to do, and it was such a thrill. I mean, just today I was on another podcast I was on.
Yeah.
Uploaded.
Nice.
We know about that.
By my friend Cam Garrity.
Yes, who's amazing.
And fun fact, he designed the DJ Bob Show logo.
Oh wow.
Wow. Chris, did you do
That's
that?
awesome. Yeah, I did. That's awesome that he did that. And his podcast that he does with
Adam,
that
Mhm.
puppeteers, that's amazing.
Yeah. Congrats for you being.
Shout out to Adam and Cam if you're watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adam and
Hi
Cam,
guys, I
you're-
love you.
Yeah. Congratulations for you being in that show, and of course, we're talking with right now.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
And
Yeah, we like you said, Stephen Anthony Lawrence is freaking amazing. We had him on. We're supposed to have Spencer Breslin on,
Yes.
but that something happened.
mhm.
Oh, I love Spencer.
He's awesome.
Spencer's my
Yes.
boy. Yeah, but Spencer is absolutely great as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
He is, especially you in the Santa Claus and Cat in the Hat movie.
Yeah, and also since we're talking about about my show, there's another thing I can say about the reason why like Purple Roads I feel like the reason why Carrie just wants to make Purple Roads is because So that way he can just interview like so many shows. So that way he can have like so many episodes instead of focus on one show. Instead of one show like Barney.
Like Ken Scott, for
example. That's what happened to me. And what I've learned is, if you need like so many episodes on your show, you got to like interview that makes people that's a part of any shows that's in childhood, not just Barney. So it's kind of like have that idea for me to making the show. And
yeah, exactly. Like he had Ken Scott in the second episode, and Ken Scott's awesome.
I mean, I'll be honest, like when I started doing this show, it was so kid-centric that kind of got frustrating. Because, I mean, you guys know that I'm a pop music nerd. I'm a Broadway nerd. I am into lots of different things. So the fact that I say the show is not even about pop culture anymore. It's just basically a look inside my head. Pretty much.
Right.
Because now, like I said, I'm talking about my disability more.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for that, too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good to hear, that, Bob.
And if you want to go into that, if you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer.
All right.
No, yeah, but, about talking about your disability. Yeah, I think it's really cool that, you're able to now talk about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or you're able to like open up.
Because I realize, like, when I do talk about it, people get excited.
Yeah, and you get nothing but, support and love.
No, and they want to know more. And it creates a whole entirely new conversation that we wouldn't have had previously.
I understand from that, which I'm proud for you doing that. Recently, I kind of have that like little open up in a way you think about it, because recently I made like social media posts of my personal account about me liking the Wiggles. And because
amazing.
And the reason, yes, of course, I'm a big fan of them. But the reason why I just, I didn't talk about it, personal in those accounts, because I thought people can be like, like being like negative of you like liking them. Like, but at the end of the day, if those people just don't like what you like because if you like the kids band, then that's their opinion. So
I have a very similar story to that about Bear. So what you need to know about me is, like, when I went to high school, I went to school for half the day, and the other half I went to a recording studio to work on the show.
Oh wow.
So what they would do is, whenever I would have a show done, they would grade me. So they really put my show into the curriculum, which is cool.
Yeah.
But with that, so in this recording studio, there was a bunch of like recording booths. So it was me and a bunch of like screamo bands and ghetto rappers and like different types of people that were into me. And I happened to have a bear doll in my backpack. Because one day, one of my teachers got me one from a garage sale that she found. And so I had him lying in there, and this rapper comes up to me and starts laughing at me about Bear. And started making fun of me in a way. And he says, and he goes, "Yeah, Bear's in the backpack." Like, really making fun of me. And he goes, I said, "Yeah, but I know him."
Wow.
And he'd be like, oh my God, oh my God, I love it. I'm like, like because it was weird. Because he acted all tough, and then the minute Bear came out, he's like, oh my God. But
Yeah, but you just gotta learn to brush that stuff off.
I mean, the guy and I are friends now, so
yeah,
so good.
And for anyone like watching or listening who goes through that stuff or has gone through that stuff, just gotta learn to brush it off and understand that it's not you.
It's them.
A lot of people who bully others or pick on others, I think, have a lot of their own problems and insecurities. Yeah.
Right.
But it's like, I'm so lucky to do what I do because it's not about putting on a show, it's about having a conversation. And I really take pride in that I don't do what normal people do. Like, when people find out that I have a podcast, they're like, oh my God, that's cool. Like, But now, since the pandemic, everybody got a damn podcast.
Yep. Everybody's got a podcast.
But what makes you? But I gotta be honest, you guys stick out as one of the best ones that I've seen.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And you too.
Relating to Mr. Chris.
Relating to the stuff that we do. So yeah.
Yes.
So do you have any advice for people who want to make a podcast like you?
Okay. Well, I could do a whole 2-hour podcast about that.
Yeah, make this 2 hours.
This is my main bit of advice. Don't copy from others, but take what they do and make it your own. Because if you're copying from someone else, people will read into that and talk shit about that. Everybody has a podcast about. There are multiple podcasts about pop culture, about nostalgia, but what makes you stick out? So you have to find that thing.
Yeah.
And I think what makes me stick out is because of how personal I make it. I'm not reading off a list of questions, but I am doing the prep in order to make the question sound real. And to make it sound like I'm just talking to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you don't, here's what it sounds like. Hi, how are you doing today? I am a podcaster. It's like, you don't need that. Well, you're not Baymax from Big Hero 6. It's not like...
Oh, wow.
Amazing reference.
Yeah, and definitely because, we're, podcasters as well. Another thing, especially if you're interviewing someone huge, definitely do as much research as you can, even if it's someone that you even if it's someone that you really know,
or even that you don't know.
Definitely do your research.
Let me add to that.
Yes.
Let me add to that. Say you're given an interview that you could care less about.
Right.
You can't let that show on the day of record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So even if you don't know anything about the act or about the actor or the musician or whoever it may be,
you need to do a lot of research no matter what.
If
you know the person,
if they're from a show you don't really know, watch the first episode or something.
So by the time you do an interview, you're almost faking it that you're a super fan. It's like, I don't do that much anymore because I don't really take those unless I don't know them, or if I don't know them. But I've had times where I don't know the artist, I don't know who they are, and then I become a big fan of them. One of those, a big example of that, was the creators, the executive producers of Baby Shark. Baby Shark's big show on Nickelodeon. So how that happened was Nickelodeon reached out to me And they said,
which is, alone just crazy.
because they know that I did stuff for Blue's Clues and You, and they said, hey, we've got an interview with the executive producers and music guys from Baby Shark's Big Show, and I was like, Baby Shark, like, why? Like, but you know what?
What?
They were the nicest people I've ever met, and they worked on a show that I used to watch called Breadwinners.
I know.
Okay, I know that show.
Oh yeah.
So we talked
about
about
breadwinners.
We talked a little bit
it's a good show for me, for my opinion. Some people just don't like it, but
we talked a little bit about that.
Mhm.
So like, even if you don't know anything about the person, if you do your prep, you'll find something to enjoy. And odds are, their love for their art and what they're doing will show in the interview if you do your work.
It's like Jakey with the Stephen Anthony Lawrence interview. He didn't know what it was until he watched an episode.
Right.
Yeah. You see some other episodes too. Some other people that we have on the show.
We don't need to ask, will you come back episode, because we know that's happening.
Yeah.
That we already talked about already.
Awesome. So
I'll come back in like 2 days. I'll be like,
all right.
That'd be so funny. So one thing I wanted to bring up, and it makes sense because this is called Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. So again, like I mentioned earlier, me and Bob have been friends for a long time, and a lot of the times when we talk, we usually talk about something nostalgic or something from our childhood. So, and we've never really done this before on the show, but so Bob, like, what are some like really nostalgic things that you feel kind of shape up your childhood? Like what kind of things did you sort of grow up with? Like what?
Like what's something nostalgia from your childhood?
Well, Chris, that's unfair.
Good question, Chris.
You know all of them.
Yeah.
If you didn't know them, I've exposed you to them.
No, that one for me.
But one of my, you know what? I'm gonna throw a curveball, and I'm not gonna talk about TV, movies, or music.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about a book series.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Called The Magic Tree House.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes, I loved The Magic Tree House.
And I was sure there was supposed to be a movie made a few years back.
Oh yeah, I actually heard read those books before. I remember reading them back in middle school, so I know those books actually. I remember.
I love those books, and
nice.
I was a big fan of those. I was a big fan of the Judy B. Jones books.
Yeah.
I love I just love the Diary Wimpy Kid book.
Yes.
Nice. Yes.
Disney Plus movie.
Yes, I definitely was a kid. Definitely. I have almost all of
my favorite book series is my favorite book series is the Arthur book. I love
Oh yeah, those are classics.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
In fact, when I was in first grade, I wrote an Arthur book.
Wow.
And Chris, have I ever shown you this?
I think you might have once, actually. I think I might remember that.
I scanned it. It was basically about Arthur and just Arthur was in it. Arthur was trying to find a rare CD at Muffy's dad's record store. He got out of the car business and he started a record store. And just to put a timetable on this, when I wrote this was fall 2002.
Yeah.
So this would have been almost 20 years
almost 20
ago.
years.
Close to 20 years.
Two decades.
Yeah.
So this was right after Chris, you know where I'm going.
Oh, yes.
This was right after the Arthur and Backstreet Boys crossover special. Arthur is only rock.
It's only rock and roll, which I knew of a little bit, but Bob was really the one who got me like hooked on that. And I'll just mention this briefly, but there's one thing whenever we think of Arthur, it's only rock and roll. The one thing me and Bob always think about is, I don't remember if this was on the VHS, but I know it was on the DVD.
It's on the VHS too.
Okay, yeah. There's some like bonus features, and one of them is the Backstreet Boys singing the Arthur theme.
Nice. Yeah, actually, I heard about that before.
It's so funny. Well, the funny thing about it is you just see them dancing in some parts. It's just really funny, but.
And you want to tell the real touching story about how I gave my childhood copy to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was. I want to say a couple months after me and Bob became friends. I had mailed him some of my Playhouse Disney recordings to have them like digitized. That it didn't really work out all that well until I ended up getting my own converter or whatever. And then Bob kind of did something special in return. He mailed me some really cool things, like there's a figure pack I have of the Puzzle Place.
Nice.
Awesome.
Of course, the Puzzle Works was originally the name for the Puzzle Place, fun fact.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then the thing that Bob's talking about is his childhood copy of Arthur, It's Only Rock and Roll on VHS, which of course I still have.
Which is very meaningful to me because Backstreet Boys still is a big part of my life.
Yeah.
I bet.
Because, watching MTV, they were everywhere. I mean, I remember buying the album Millennium, which featured I Want It That Way, on release day. On release day at Kmart. And that was when Kmart had CDs, and the section was huge, the whole thing. And so when Arthur and Backstreet Boys were crossing over and doing this big thing, I was like, oh my god, this is so good. So I made my mom like tape it for me, and we watched it, and that Christmas I got the tape, which now Chris has. And so that's one. But one of the other things I want to talk to you about is a toy. So, as you know, I'm a podcaster, but I'm a radio DJ at heart.
Yeah.
And one of the toys that I loved was, if you want to look this up while we're talking about it, Radio DJ by Wild Planet. Look that up so you know what I'm talking about.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I think I actually remember seeing this before.
And it was like a it's a transmitter.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
And so this was back in the day where you couldn't find toys online. So in order for you to figure out what toys you wanted, you would see the commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh,
and
yes.
As soon as I saw anything with the radio or music or DJ, it was just number one on the list. And I was like, Mom, I want that. So I got it for Christmas. Played with it for way longer than I should have. And then I find the commercial on YouTube years later.
Yeah.
And then the guy on the commercial is Chris Phillips. Now,
Oh wow.
Chris Phillips, the voice of Faith, blah, blah, blah. But also, he was the voice of DJ Bob for a couple years.
Wow.
That's right.
So,
Wow.
can you imagine the guy who technically made me want to do this is now doing my stuff?
Yeah, that's
Oh my
that's
gosh.
surreal. Like the guy who who
Voice to
basically
face.
introduced every Nick Jr. show imaginable at the time.
But the guy that made me want to do radio via that, if I didn't see that commercial, who knows what I mean, you know? Like,
Yeah.
so, there's, I owe him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Chris Phillips did other he was on PB&J Otter, he voiced some characters on that.
Yeah.
And then I know Chris Phillips also did a certain character on a segment of a PBS show called Between the Lions.
Oh yeah, cliffhanger.
Yep.
Cliffhanger.
Oh man. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And
That's
he also played. You know what, Chris? You can say that you shared a role with Chris. You can say that you shared an episode with Chris Phillips.
Why?
Because in the DJ Bob Show Christmas special.
Yes, that's right. The DJ Bob Show Christmas special, which last month we actually listened to, kind of revisited it. I voiced an elf.
Right?
Yeah, oh, it was lots of fun. For those who haven't listened to it, I voiced an elf.
One of the elves.
Yes, the recording sessions were also really fun.
And Santa, played by Chris Phillips, talks to you in there. And,
that's right.
So that's sort of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yes. Really lucky what you have on the show, really, for so many years. And
exactly,
to be honest, Bob. So.
But no, nostalgia is a really crazy thing. And back on the subject of Backstreet Boys briefly, like if you guys remember, like the One Direction craze, like One Direction was everywhere, and that in like the early 2000s, I remember vaguely was that was Backstreet Boys. Backstreet Boys was like the
Backstreet Boys NSYNC.
NSYNC, yeah. Even stuff like Dream Street, which they weren't around. Dream Street wasn't around for very long, but I remember very.
You're welcome.
A little bit.
Jesse McCartney.
Yeah, Jesse McCartney.
And later he went on to the Chipmunks.
And he was on an episode of Sweet Life.
He was in a lot of stuff.
Dream Street is a big part of my life. Because Dream Street was a New York only band, pretty much. And they only lasted like 2 years. So you either saw them or you didn't. So I'm a big fan of those guys. Okay, so Chris.
Yes.
What is your favorite DJ Bob memory from working with us?
Oh man, well I know when.
Okay, what's the funniest?
Oh boy.
You can embarrass me.
I was thinking more like funny interviews, like when we did the 20th anniversary Bear reunion interview.
Yeah.
The part where Tutter and Ojo
were fighting.
That is hilarious.
That's top tier. That's great.
It's oh my god, it's so funny to this day. Peter and just the fact that Noel and Vicky and Tyler, Peter, they still can bring the same, charm and personalities to their characters and the voices, like from ages. It's just amazing.
For that long ago to now.
Yeah, stuff like that when you actually get to joke around, and that's one of like the greatest parts about when I was a part of the DJ Bob Show. But yeah, that's probably my favorite interview I've done.
We had good times on that show.
Yeah, since we're probably gonna wrap up shortly, do you have any words to say to the fans or supporters that love your show?
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, my friend.
It's so weird to think that I have fangs.
No.
I never consider them. I never consider you guys fans. You were just friends who like the show, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the same way for us.
Yes.
And yeah, thanks. And for all the people listening, if you're just learning about our show, welcome. If you know anything about it, thanks for listening. It's been a real joy to produce for you for the almost 12 years that we've been doing this, and
Which that's crazy.
And we're not stopping. And I don't know if I can say this, but I'm sort of helping the guys.
Yeah, you can say it.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, that's fine.
Here and there, do some fun stuff too. So
yeah,
there's
he's
more
helping us get people also.
Yeah, and I'm
there's more to come.
Yeah, and I'm gonna turn the tables and say thank you, Bob, for allowing me to be a part of your show for 2 years. Honestly, if it wasn't for that, I would be a complete airhead when it comes to podcasts. I would not have known the slightest thing about podcasts.
Probably Chris will not be co-host for Jake's Nostalgia if that wouldn't happen.
Oh, definitely. Honestly, definitely not. Like if it wasn't for the DJ Bob show, I don't even think I would have been able to be a part of this, because
I would love to have you guys on as a switch up. That'd be
let's do it.
That'd be so
awesome.
Much fun. Yes.
Especially because last time for me on the DJ Bob show was 2018, I think.
Wow.
Technically Christmas, but
no, like 3 years.
Yeah, me and Jake.
Oh, but as like a part of an interview.
What was the last show you did?
Last interview I did was with Jim Jenkins. No, that was the last one.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Yeah,
if they want to search out your stuff.
Everywhere. You can find me at djbobshow.com, or you can find me on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Just search the DJ Bob Show.
You can find us on all of them too.
Follow me on Instagram. I
did.
Oh yes.
I honestly need more Instagram followers.
I did just follow you.
Yeah. And every links for DJ Bob Show and your social media itself, it's going to be everywhere in the description down below. So you guys out there watching or listening can just go in the description and just click those links and boom.
Sounds good.
Yes, well,
I love you guys.
Gosh. I love you too, Bob, and it has been
definitely
absolute blast having you on.
Yes, Bob. You're such a good friend to me for how long I've know you, because of Chris is one of those people that probably got to know you in general, and you're also a cool friend of mine, and I'm glad to know you and be a part of the show.
Okay. Before we wrap up, I just want to bring up something, because I know some people watching or listening may be wondering how me and Bob met.
Yes. I was waiting for this.
Yeah, I still remember this. This was 2015. So 2016 is when we became good friends, but 2015 was when we met. So there was a bear episode that I guess for whatever reason wasn't previously available anywhere. I got like a Chinese or some international bear DVD, and it had an episode that wasn't previously available anywhere. So I posted it, and I'm pretty sure at first Bob thought like that I had worked for Bear or something.
What the heck?
If I'm correct, yeah, that.
Because I was like, oh my goodness, they're in such great quality. He's like, do you know Rick? I'm like, and he's like, Rick? Who's Rick? Rick Fernandez. And I thought that Chris worked on the show.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then, so obviously.
But then, how did we talk after that?
Well, really, I mean, there was a bit of a gap.
I don't remember the transition.
Well, there really wasn't one. I guess it was in the summer of 2016. I had just gotten out of school for the year, and I got a friend request on Facebook, and I accepted it, and I messaged him saying, "Who are you?" And he mentioned his the thing with the bear episode, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then we became friends and
really close.
Really close.
And that's how I met.
That's how we met. Mm-hmm. So, Bob, thank you again so much for being a part of the podcast. It's been a blast.
He's definitely helping us get guests. We're writing down a list of guests tomorrow.
Yeah, and can't wait whenever you're going to be back in the show again, Bob. And
I'll be back in like 2 days. Remember I said that?
Yeah.
We might be doing another one tomorrow. I don't know yet. I'm free tomorrow now.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Cool.
Yeah, but keep up your great work of what you're doing, Bob, and can't wait what's going to be happening. We like to do, in the future.
There's so much stuff. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yes. Anyways, y'all, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode, Jakes Happy Nostalgia Show. Can't wait what you guys for in store for future episodes, and hope you all stay safe and everything. And as of right now, from all four of us, see y'all again for our next episode. But until then, see ya. Bye-bye.
You are worth it.
Exactly. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you next time on another episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. Be sure to follow us on social media and stream us wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Bye-bye.